Hi, Lexi Daly here with this week's episode of Make It Monday for Paper Tray Ink. Today we will make Pantone match inspired cards. So last week for the countdown I created this card, and I mentioned that the idea of the layout and the overall design came from an Instagrammer that I follow that matches tiny objects to Pantone color chips. So here's a look at the book that she wrote after Instagramming her project. And she would find small objects that matched her card. There are lots of different photographers who match a variety of things, and other artists who create Pantone cards with objects. And I thought it would be fun to, see what I could do with the idea on a card. So here's a look at just a basic Pantone chip. It's got, that solid block of color, and then in a very simple font, the name and number underneath it. And it's a very iconic look. I've seen them as notebooks, as flip-flops, as mugs, so many different things. They've definitely marketed their look along with the colors. So for the card that I created last week, I used crafting supplies to create a project that was similar to the photography projects I've seen. So I wanted yellow because I knew I wanted to say hello sunshine. And I created my own little mini Pantone chip and stamped and cut my objects and colored them to go with the chip. And the Hello Sunshine obviously was a nod to the yellow. And I really liked the background of the tiny Pantone match cards with the gray dots, which just kind of let the color shine. And so I did that as well. And so today I have another take on this card just to make, and then a few others that I can show you too. So let's get started on the new card. For starters, I'm going to make my Pantone chip. So I actually want to make it so that it's flush, and I want it to have a little bit of weight. So first I have a base card that it's going to go on. I made my color block 2 by 2, and then this is 2 by 3/4 of an inch. So this card is 2 3/4. So I'm just going to tape it all together. And actually, before I tape this on, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. The sentiment I'm doing today is a happy hello. There are lots of options for, very simple fonts in paper tray stamps sets. I have found mine in Wonderful Words Hello, Wet Paint, and Monthly Moments Year Round Mini. Those all have some nice small words and simple fonts that you can put together to make different phrases. And now I have my basic color chip. So I want something to put on top of it. So I decided to do a butterfly, but I want to do a little bit of watercolor on it. So watercolor smooshing, I guess, is that what we call it. Let me add just a little bit more. Lots of water to really get rid of the lines, and I'm going to go ahead and stick my paper in it. Move that out of the way. And I'm going to dry it for just a minute. And now we can cut out our butterfly. All right, that looks nice on top of the pink. All right, so I'm just going to set this aside, and we're going to stamp the card front now with the polka dots. I'm going to use my grid to line it up, and I'm going to make a couple of little notes to see where my spaces are. You know, I've done this before since I did a sample card and the yellow card, and I found out that if I kind of counted out squares and figured out where to line up my dots, that it was easier to be sure that they were nice and uniform. The reason I did just the bottom for the second dots is that I can move my card. And again, as long as you're close, it's going to work out just fine. I usually do this a little bit closer to the bottom of my desk, but I want to make sure it's on camera. So, and once I get some of the lines in, I'm able to line up that center dot along the center line on my block. And if I'm not 100% close, that's fine. I mean, not 100% perfect, that's fine, as long as I'm close. And see, I moved my card down so that I could follow the dots again, because the top to the bottom is pretty much the same. And there, I have a dotted card front. All right, so let me get my crease back and assemble my card. This, I made the color chip a little bit bigger on this one to accommodate the butterfly, and I just wanted a little bit bigger pop of color than on the tint card. So it fits nicely in the center with the dots around it. For the tint card, it was kind of, when I was putting it together, I kind of went off center because it just looked a little bit better for the smaller card. But also it covered the dots less awkwardly. Like there were some dots sticking out and not exactly even, I guess it was. It was just kind of, it just looked better when I put it on the lower corner. But this one I like it right in the middle. I'm just going to kind of make sure these are raised. Play with them a little bit. And I'm going to use a glue marker instead. And I like it. You could do it right in the center. Just to show you, you could do it just like that if you like. But I kind of like it in flight. Just a little bit over the words. There we go. All right. So there we have it. A pretty color match inspired card. Kind of a take on the Pantone color matching that that you might find on Pinterest or Instagram. So let's just look back at some of the other ones. The first one that I did last week, this idea has been floating in my head for the longest time now, and I finally, you know, had a good idea to go on to make it happen. And then another one I did right after the countdown was I had started with blue when I was working on this one. I was like, no, I really thought of the sunshine idea when I was looking through the sentiments. So this one kind of sat on the side, and I finished it out right after the countdown to post one more card with Hello Mother, Hello Father. And I did the boat, and I added a little bit more of a neutral color, and I decided to stray from just the dots. And I found this card base in my stash, and I really like blue and orange together. And so that was kind of a fun, a different way to do it. There's one of the accounts and some of the pictures that you'll see on the Pinterest board that I have prepared for you. You'll see like some with solid color backgrounds and other kind of ways that they're presented. But there are lots of photography artists that do this kind of Pantone color matching. And here's one more I made while I was working on pink. This one I decided to use the whole card and make the whole card look like a Pantone color chip. I inked it, so it's one layer, a one-layer card, and I inked this upper section just with a blending tool and lots of ink, and I really got it saturated and got as much color, but still nice and clean on the inside. I used masking tape just to tape off that line, and then I stamped a bunch of flip-flops in the same color. I used the paper of the same color, and then I added in some little sequins too, just for a little bling. And I just really love how this one came out. I think I want to do more of this with some more of my favorite colors, maybe some different things on top. This one would have been nice with the butterflies too, but I had already used the butterfly on this card. I wanted to do something a little bit different to show you. These two are the same size. That smaller, well actually this one's a little bit bigger. This one's really small. And you know, it really depends on the image that you want to put on top, or if you want to go for the whole card look. I have prepared a Pinterest board that has lots of the different photographers who've done color matching with food, with toys, with all kinds of cool objects that they have matched to the actual Pantone color chips. And it looks like such fun projects to do when if you have a set of the chips and you're looking for things in real life that match the color chips. But I just really like that graphic look of it, and I thought it would be fun to turn into a card. And so check out the Pinterest board and you know, take a look at your stamps, choose your favorite color, and see what you come up with. Thanks for watching. Now it's your turn. Head over to Nicole's blog to find out all of the details on how to play along and link up. I can't wait to see what you create. This has been Lexi Daly for Paper Tray Ink. Bye!